What's up, everybody? Happy Friday. Hope you're having a great day so far. So, I'm back with another retro review. This time it is One Life to Live, January 12th, 2009. So, this is literally like yesterday I did the All My Children review from January 12th. So, it's the same week, same day. Um, this episode, I enjoyed it. Um, I remember watching these episodes when they first aired, and it brings back so many memories of watching these. So this episode, listen, Rex and Gigi were some freaks. Like sitting there just trying to have sex on the living room floor. I'm like, really now? You got a whole son that can walk in that house at any moment. And y'all sitting here trying to do it on the living room floor? Now, if that ain't freaky deaky, I don't know what is. Um, and Rex sitting there trying to act like he don't know how to unstrap her bra. I'm like, really, Rex? He's sitting there talking about, oh, why couldn't this bra be Velcro? Rex, you don't know how to unhook a bra? You done had sex with this woman. How many times you don't know how to unstrap her bra? Come on now, Rex. Get it together. And as soon as that they're in the midst of doing it or trying to get it in, Shane comes walking through the door. Yo, that is embarrassing. Who wants to walk in on their parents in the midst of them doing it? Like, you not, ugh. That's like thousands of dollars worth of therapy right there. I'm just saying. Like, ilk. Ugh. And on the living room floor, like, get some bleach or something and put it down there or something. Like, I would have to bleach that whole floor. Like, no. Like, I got to walk there every day and y'all sitting here doing it in a spot where I got to be at. Hell no. But luckily he didn't really see nothing though, because like I said, they weren't actually having sex at that point. They were in the midst, like they were trying to. But Rex couldn't learn how to unhook a bra. Um, Rex, you need to go watch some porn or something and learn how to unstrap a woman's bra. You need to learn. Um, you would think at your age that you would know how to do it, but I guess not. That's all right. They got videos, I guess, to show you how. Um, but luckily, Shane didn't see anything, but the mere thought of it, and like he did see them half naked, so it's like, you know. And Gigi and Rex were horrified. You know what I mean? Rex in there, we didn't do anything wrong. I mean, yeah, y'all are adults. Y'all didn't do anything wrong. Y'all thought he was at a friend's house. I get it, but come on now. Make sure he's at the friend's house next time before y'all try to get it in. Because Gigi was already late to work. You know what I mean? Like, make sure that the doors is locked. Well, he probably got a key. But you know what I mean? Like, just make sure that the boy ain't gonna be home if y'all gonna do it in public areas. Like, I'm just saying. Um, so of course Rex was even more horrified because Gigi went to work and left him with the task of explaining sex to Shane. That is like the most awkward conversation. For some people, it is awkward. And of course, Rex did not want to have that conversation right now because it's so awkward having that conversation with your teenage son, preteen son or whatever the age. It's awkward as all hell. Like, that's a conversation I would dread having because it just feels weird, trying to explain the birds and the bees. Like, it's just super duper weird. That's a conversation I just feel like I would not want to have. Like, I would come up with so many excuses. But at the end of the day, even though it's an awkward conversation to have, it's a good conversation to have because they need to hear it. You know what I'm saying? And it's best to come from a parent rather than learning about it from a little stupid friend on the street who telling them all the wrong things, or them learning about it through a porn site, or it should come from you. You're the parent. It should come from you. But that's a conversation I would dread having. Like, I'm just saying. So anyway, moving on from that. John and Blair. Let me tell you something. That is a couple that should have never happened. I mean, I could see John and Blair being together sexually, like friends with benefits or whatever, because they both were single at the time. So friends with benefits, I could see. But romantically, dating, being a couple, boyfriend, girlfriend, hell no. Hell no. That was a mismatch right there. No. And this episode proved it. So if you want to see the actual full episode, just go to youtube.com. Just go to YouTube, type in One Life to Live, January 12th, 2009. You'll see what I'm talking about. For those who haven't ever seen the episode. But if you have seen the episode, then you remember basically what I'm talking about. John and Blair, they should have just never happened as a couple. Never. Like, Blair is all in a tizzy or whatever because she feels like she feels like John is always putting Cole and Marty before him. You know what I mean? Before her. Mainly Marty. Because this was at the time where Marty had amnesia. She didn't know who she was. Because remember, Todd had her all up in his crib and stuff, lying to her and all that. So now that she's back, she still has amnesia. So of course, John is trying to do his best to help her, trying to be there for Cole, and Blair just doesn't like it because it tells her that it makes her feel like he still has feelings for Marty. So of course, John flipped the script on her and was like, "Well, you still got feelings for Todd. You're not over Todd." And she admitted that yeah, she's not in love with Todd, but she's not over him either. But see, that's what I have a problem with. You're not in love with Todd anymore, but you're not over him either. See, that's a problem. Because why the hell are you trying to get all up on John's case, get all up in his face about his ex when, about his, feelings towards Marty, but yet you're not over Todd? You shouldn't be in a new relationship with somebody if you're not over your ex. Like, I don't care if you're not in love with your ex, but the fact that you said that you're not over your ex, that's a bad sign. But yet you want John to commit to you though. I would never commit to somebody who's not over their ex. If you ain't over your ex, what the hell am I saying you're trying to commit a serious relationship with you for? Like, Blair was just all over the place. Don't get me wrong, I understand where Blair was coming from, but I definitely understood where John was coming from. Like, Blair tried to use that same old excuse. Well, he's the father of my children. That excuse is so lame. First of all, anything you need to talk to Todd about regarding your kids can be said over the phone, over the telephone. You don't really need to talk to that person in person when it regards to your kids. Like, plenty of parents co-parent over the phone, through text, whatever. So her little flimsy ass excuses just wasn't working for me. And then you sitting there, oh, I'm not over him. Well, if you ain't over him, then you need to go to Todd and figure out your feelings for him before you try to get me to commit to you and give up my friendship with Marty. You know what I mean? Like, you can't have your cake and eat it too. Don't work like that. And John McBain is the wrong person to ask to commit to because it's never going to work with John. John, he's not. I always felt like John was a commitment phobe. I always felt like that. Like, he had commitment issues. Like, he's not big, on making that step to making it permanent. You know what I mean? Like, I know he tried with Natalie and stuff over the years, but I always saw him as a commitment phobe. That's just how I saw John McBain, to be perfectly honest. So then I guess her and John were supposed to take a vacation, and like we all know, if you know John McBain, he don't really do vacations. So he was willing to take her on a vacation or whatever, but she was like, well, if we would have went on vacation to this little island or whatever, would you, so if Cole and Marty or whatever called you and she was in trouble, she needed help, would you have jumped on the next flight to come home, to go be by her side, to comfort her or whatever? He wasn't lying. He was like, yeah, because that's my friend. I want to help her. I want to be there for her. I want to be there for Cole. He was being honest about it. And Blair, of course, was upset with that answer. Well, if you don't like the answer, then you shouldn't ask the question. I'm just saying. Like, call a spade a spade. Like, I got to be honest. If you don't like somebody's answer or what somebody's about to say when you know deep down what they're about to say, you shouldn't have asked the damn question because you know what the answer is going to be. So you setting yourself up to be angry and for, heartbreak. That's all you're doing. He was being honest with her and she just couldn't take it. So it is what it is. And, Cole kept trying to call John or whatever, but of course John wasn't answering the phone because when his phone went off, here go Blair acting all jealous. Oh, you better answer that. Could be Marty. He was like, yeah, it could be. And he just sat right there and let it ring. So Cole came over to his apartment or whatever. I think this is when he was staying at the Angel Square Motel or whatever. So Cole came over there. He was about to knock on the door when he was listening outside the door, listening to their conversation. And John basically told Blair, that Marty was down the hall with some dude or whatever. I think this is when she was messing with that dude, Wes. I think his name was Wes. I think he was an old army buddy of Brody's or something like that. Navy SEAL buddy of Brody, I think. And she was sleeping with him at the time or whatever. And of course, Cole overheard it. So Cole went down there banging on the door or whatever, trying to see if Marty was up in there. John is who John is. You know what I mean? And Blair should know how John McBain is. Like, if you can't handle how he is, then you shouldn't have been with him. Period. And I think John deep down knew Blair was always going to run to Todd. No matter what Blair said, oh, I'm over, I don't want to be with Todd. I'm not in love with Todd, but I'm not over him. I think that signaled to John, like, yeah, this is a lost cause. But of course, him and Blair ended up hitting the sheets together, of course. It didn't stop them from doing the do, I guess. So anyway, moving on from that. Cole sitting here, this is when Cole was just at rock bottom. Like, he was sitting here doing drugs. He's sitting here at the school getting pills from one of his classmates, a little drug dealer, getting pills or whatever. Like, Cole was just always a screw up. Cole, he's been going through it. Because if you remember when Cole first came on the show, he was on a football team and he was using steroids and stuff to enhance his performance. Because I remember he was at a party with Star and he had roid rage, and I remember he tried to attack Star because he was going through roid rage. So Cole has always been going through hellfire and brimstone with that boy. So him getting drugs was not surprising, especially, with the death of his baby. Well, him and Star thought that their baby died. Then his mom, pushing him away because she got amnesia. Like, all of that just messed with him. So, of course, he turned to drugs. He turned back to drugs and getting pills and whatnot, became a pill head. I felt bad for Cole, though. But he did need to get his life together. That's why I think he needed John in his life. John was a good role model for him, try to help him out. But that boy was just going through it. So, speaking of another drug user... Nora was at home when she found marijuana. Apparently, the marijuana dropped out of Matthew's book bag, so you know that sent Nora in the overboard. So she's sitting there getting on the phone calling Bo. Bo was like, "What's going on?" She was like, "I'm coming over to the station." She was like, "I'm coming over there," because he was on the phone with the mayor or whatever. He was like, "I can't really talk right now. Can I call you back?" She was like, "Nah, I'm coming to you." So she had to hurry up, get out the house. She grabbing her coat or whatever, acting all nervous and frantic. And Renee started noticing it. And Renee was like, "Are you all right?" She was like, "Yeah, I'm good. You all right?" Because, Renee was acting a little crazy too because of another situation now I'm going to talk about in a minute. But Nora rushed over to the police station and stuff, showed Bo the marijuana. He was like, because Bo thought the marijuana at first was Cole's. But she was like, "No, it came from Matthew." He was like, "Oh, hell no." Bo was like, hell to the no. Bo wasn't having it. As soon as Bo heard that it was Matthew's, Bo was like, "You know what? I'm about to wring his little neck." Because Bo wasn't having it. He was like, he old enough to know because we done had this conversation with him a million times about drugs. So he know better. But Nora, she didn't want Bo to go there acting all, crazy and yelling and screaming at the boy because she knew they weren't going to get effective answers out of him if Bo went over there yelling and screaming at him and punishing him. And she wanted to know where he got the weed from and why does he have it. She knew that if Bo went over there acting a fool, tripping, Matthew wasn't gonna tell them nothing. He was gonna clean him up. Bo didn't give a damn. Bo was like, "Oh, he gonna tell me where he got it from. I don't give a damn. I'm gonna make him tell me." See, this is where they play the good cop, bad cop role. You know what I'm saying? And Nora just wanted both of them to be the good cop, but Bo was like, "Nah, that ain't gonna work for me, dog." He was like, "Nah, I'm gonna have to let him know." Because Bo ain't play on that. He was like, "I am not about to have no pothead for no son." He said, "No, sir. I'm not about to do it." And, he was like, I could come over there all rational and stuff, but Bo just wasn't having it. So when Bo and Nora got into the house, he yelled for Matthew to come downstairs, and they wanted to know where the hell the marijuana came from. Matthew sitting there looking stupid, like, "I don't know where that came from." And Bo wasn't believing that nonsense. Bo was like, "Nah, you know where this weed came from. You about to tell me." See, that's good parenting right there. I like that. Like, I probably would have reacted the same way. Let me find some marijuana, some ganja up in my house. Please, you're going to get that little ass worn out. That belt will be on you in 2.2 seconds. Don't play with me. And I don't do marijuana. We ain't doing no drugs of any kind. Not unless it's some type of aspirin or something. That's the only drug you can have. It's some Tylenol. You ain't about to have no marijuana, no cocaine, or no pills, nothing up in my house. Ain't no kid of mine gonna be in no drugs. I wouldn't play it, so I don't blame Bo for going off the way he did, though. But I do agree in a way with Nora, like, to get answers, you got to kind of take a different approach. But, every situation is different. You know what I mean? Like, it's different. So I can't blame both for going off the handle. So anyway, Renee gets a visit from a former prostitute of hers, because back in the day, Lee Halpern used to be a prostitute. And remember, back in the day, Renee used to be a madam. So she basically used to be a pimp. Um, she used to be pimping hoes back in the day. So of course Lee comes over to the mansion because she needs Renee help. She needs Renee to hide her because the cops looking for her, Todd gonna be looking for her. So she was like, I need your help. And Renee, she was like, well, the best way I can help you is to call Bo. Get Bo and Nora over here to come help you. And you could talk to them or whatever. And Lee was like, hell no, I'm not talking to the cops. And I can't say that I blame Lee per se because she was scared. One, she had to worry about the cops putting her in jail as a co-conspirator to Todd's crimes. Two, she had to worry about Todd wanting to kill her because she knows too much and she could testify against him. That's what she was worried about. So she was worried about prosecution and she was worried about Todd, about his wrath. So I can't say that I blame Lee. So of course, she needed Renee to help her. And Renee was like, I'm not about to break no laws, to help you. But then Renee was like, all right, you can stay in the guest house or whatever until you figure something out. I can't say that I blame Lee because Todd has resources. He got money. He got power. He could come after her. He can, he owns a newspaper, of course, so he can expose her. And remember, she used to be a prostitute. She used to con men back in the day. So that's the one thing she didn't want to happen was for her face and all that to be all up in the news and front page pictures, on the front page of the news, for, all the guys that she conned to come find her. That's what she didn't want. And she didn't want to go to prison. So she was stuck between a rock and a hard place. But, Renee tried to do her best to help her. She was like, you can stay in the guest house for a couple of days or whatever. She was like, that's the best I could do. Other than that, you on your own. Because Lee didn't know at the time when she was helping Todd, she didn't know all the stuff that Todd, had done and all that to Marty. She didn't know about the rape. She didn't know Marty has sons. She didn't know none of that stuff. She was in the dark until John told her. And then she confronted Todd about it. And then Todd ended up trying to blackmail her, basically saying, oh, I know who you are. I could put you on front page. I can expose you. So she had no choice but to go along with it. Plus, Todd was paying her $1 million. I mean, shit, who turned it down $1 million? I'm just saying. Like, a mill is a mill. So I don't blame Lee for trying to run and trying to, protect herself. But, she was stuck between a rock and a hard place at this point. So anyway, Taya is sitting there trying to help Todd or whatever keep his ass out of prison because he's facing a bunch of charges. Basically for what he did to Marty, keeping her in his house. And now they trying to throw another rape charge on him. Then they got the attempted kidnapping charges because he wanted to steal Star's baby. So they got all those charges against him. And so Taya got her work cut out for her. Taya definitely got her work cut out for her at this point. Because now she got to find Lee Halpern. She got to find her. Then she got to find dirt on Leah Joplin. Because remember, Leah Joplin was the nurse that was going to help Todd steal the baby. So they need to find any dirt, anything that they can find about Leah. Because they need to make sure that she didn't leave no evidence behind that could incriminate Todd. Because remember, Leah Joplin is the mother of Skylar Joplin. And they need to, destroy her credibility because, as you know, she committed suicide. But they need to make sure she didn't leave nothing behind that could screw Todd at the trial. They need to make sure of that. So Taya, she's, running around trying to fix this. So she ends up going to the police station, lurking around or whatever, because Antonio and Talia are working on the case or whatever. Trying to build the case against Todd, trying to get more evidence. So they got his phone records and stuff. And of course, Taya come up in there. She was like, any evidence that you get, you have to show me because it's called discovery. Antonio was like, I'm not afraid of you. He was like, I'm not scared of you. He looking at her like, I am not scared of you. I ain't got to show you nothing right about now. And she letting him know, like, oh, you're going to get a whole bunch of subpoenas and stuff. And Antonio didn't even blink. He really didn't give a damn. You know what I mean? Antonio did not care. At the end of the day, this is still an open investigation. Yes, technically they do have to show the defense attorney everything that they collect, but at the same time, everything that they're getting right now, they haven't even shown to the DA yet. They haven't even shown Nora everything that they've got. So of course they was looking through Todd's phone records and they saw that he was making a whole bunch of phone calls to Leah Joplin. Um, he had a whole bunch of phone calls to her, so they could connect him to her. Um, so anyway, Star was sitting there talking to Skylar or whatever, apologizing because she felt like she got his mom killed or whatever because his mother committed suicide because she thought that Star's baby had some type of illness or whatever that could have easily been treated, and she thought that she misdiagnosed it. So that's why she, had that guilt and she killed herself. But little do they know that Jessica's baby was switched with Star's baby. So Jessica's baby was the one that had the illness, not Star's. Jessica's altered Bess is the one who switched the babies. So of course, Skylar wasn't blaming Star for the death of his mother and stuff like that. So he made it clear to Star, like, I'm your teacher. Let's leave our connection at the door or whatever. I'm your teacher. That's how we're going to act. You're going to address me as Mr. Joplin, stuff like that. So Taya ended up calling Skylar because she wanted to talk to him about his mom. She's just trying to get whatever she can to help Todd at this point. That's all Taya trying to do. And I can't blame her. As a lawyer, that's your job. That's what you're supposed to do. So Todd got a visit from Vicky, and of course Todd was acting like a total ass to Vicky. Oh, what are you doing here? What do you want? Even Vicky was annoyed by Todd. She was like, "Are you seriously giving me attitude right now?" Because he mad at Vicky because she basically disowned him for what he did to Star. I mean, can you blame Vicky? Like Vicky knew Todd was bad news, but she always thought that he would never do anything to intentionally hurt his own kids. That's why she wrote him off. But, Vicky is always stuck by Todd because that's her brother. As much as she hates the things that he does, she always tries to see the good in Todd when everybody in town just wants to see the negative. But she always tries to pull out the good in him because she knows deep down there is some good in Todd. It's always deep, deep, deep down, but there is some good in Todd. And she just kept telling him, do the right thing. Todd was just saying, basically, I'm looking at 25 years to life right now. He's being kept away from his kids and his life is just in shambles. But Vicky was like, well, try to fix it. Try to talk to Star and reach out to her. And he did. I always loved Todd and Vicky's relationship. I always loved it because even though she couldn't stand the stuff that he did, she always stuck by Todd. You know what I mean? So I always loved that about them. So Todd, of course, reached out to Vicky. To Star, and Star ignored his phone call, of course. And I don't blame Star for not wanting to talk to him. Look at everything he's did to Marty, everything he's done to her, and he tried to kidnap her child, so she's just not ready to talk to him right now. And I can't say that I blame her. So anyway, I enjoyed this episode. This was a nice throwback. Hit the comment section. Let me know what y'all thought about this. And I will see you all later. Have a great day. Peace.